The Storehouse opened up nearly 60 years ago as a tax-exempt non-for-profit with one specific mission: to help New Mexicans solve their food insecurities regardless of race, faith, age, gender, or disability. And here with us now is Andrew Bustos, Operations Director at the Storehouse. Thank you so much, Andrew, for coming in.
Well,
We're
having
having a phone bank here for
right.
the Storehouse. Let's talk about this because the need is so big here in New Mexico, and a lot of who you guys are feeding are children, unfortunately.
That's correct. You know, 1 in 3 children in New Mexico suffer from food insecurity, and it's a sad statistic that New Mexico always ranks in the top 5 in the country for food insecure children and adults as well.
And what does that mean when you say food insecurities?
Food insecurities, you know, sometimes a single mother or even a multifamily dwelling, they have 2 or 3 jobs, and they barely still make enough to cover their basic bills, their P&M bills, their health bills, you know, whatever the case is. So they have to make that decision. Do we buy food or do we pay this bill? That's the food insecure part that comes into play. Now, the minimum wages have been going up a little bit, but still, if you have 3 kids, you know, each kid it costs a little bit of money to feed them.
It adds up.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an unfortunate situation to find yourself in. Now, you've been here since the get-go, since the morning.
That's right.
Last hour, we talked about how you guys not only provide the food, you do a lot of education. You actually teach people how to eat well.
That's
talk
correct.
a little bit about that, because you don't necessarily have to, you know, if you don't have a lot of money and your resources are limited, you don't have to go out and eat junk. You can actually make healthy meals.
Correct. And you know, it's very important, especially for your children, for brain and muscle development, keeping that energy up throughout the day, you know, having that attentiveness in school to do well, but it also flows over to the adults as well, the parents, being able to maintain that energy level to go work 2 jobs, take care of your kids, you know, cook dinner for your family. So,
you know, here's what's great too. You guys provide clothing. Clothing is another big part of the Storehouse.
It's huge right now, and you know, throughout the year we have different pushes. Of course, in September we have the back to school push for the kids' clothes, but right now is the hiring season, so we're doing a big push for ladies and gentlemen, suits, dress pants, etc. You know, that way we can help them, you know, get a foot in the door and go get that job that might pay them a little bit extra more, and they can take care of their family a little bit better.
That is great. And you know, a little bit ago we were showing you video of the actual Storehouse. You basically have it set up where it's like a shopping experience. These people, these families come in there and they are like shopping for whether it's groceries or food. I mean, this is what you're giving them the opportunity to kind of pick. We're seeing video right now. Why do you do it? Why do you create it that way? It's different.
What we do, we want to try to knock down any barriers between people and food, people and clothing, whatever resources they need. We understand, you know, the sensitivity of cultural preferences, dietary preferences, and, you know, just in general what you like and don't like. So what we do is we set it up as a shopping experience, let them go and pick what's preference to their family. Again, going back to the religious, cultural, and just dietary restrictions, you know. So they find, and we get a lot of positive feedback on that. Instead of just giving them a box of food, they get to choose their food.
That's great. So. Psychologically, I think that does a lot.
Correct.
So many other opportunities for you to get involved. Not only, of course, we want you to donate. We do have a phone bank going on. Please call this number on your screen, 877-715-7400. Make a monetary donation. If you want to volunteer, call, get information, because you guys are always looking for volunteers.
That's right.
And again, food, we're talking food and clothing. Very important not to leave out the clothing, that there is a need for that for families here in New Mexico. All right, Andrew, we're going to be talking to you more coming up in just a little bit. For now, stay